Hi everyone, this is Abrar. Welcome to Abrar Knowledge channel. Today's topic is Fun Fact Encyclopedia, and this is gonna be part 13. So fast we have traveled together, and we are gonna make out one more session called part 13. And just to give you an idea what part 13 is gonna be unfolding of. So there are five interesting fun facts we're gonna talk about it. The number one, what is cool about the word almost? We might be using the word almost every now and then and all that, right? What is the significant about that word? We're going to talk about it. Another one is your tongue is more than just a tongue. So in this one we are also going to zoom out a little bit of scientifical things. What does our tongue does and all that, very informative point. We're going to discuss about it and discover about it. Number 3 is the whistle telephone. Telephone you might have heard. And how about the whistle telephone? We're going to talk about it. And very interesting is the cat mayor, the cat, that we're going to talk about it. And these animal can also be drowned. Animal can drown. So yes, so we're going to talk about it. So these five things we're going to talk about it, and please stay tuned. You will get the amazing piece of information. Let's have a go with the first one. What is the cool about the word almost? At a first instance or a glance, there appears to be nothing special, nothing different about the word almost, right? You're right. But simply because you're not looking at in the correct way. What does it mean? If you particularly pay attention to the word, how it has been formed, there is a clue there, how it has been formed, then you will see something will hopefully will start to leap out for you. So what is the crazy thing? What is the interesting thing that we are mentioning? Well, it turns out that this word is the longest in the English language, where all the letter and the are in the alphabetical order. Take an example: A, L, M, O, S. I mean, almost. A, L, M, O, S, T. Almost, right? All the six letter is being framed up alphabetically. That's in that sense, it says there's the longest word. Yeah. Now you know that why this word is very special. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. Very interesting. And it's my favorite. Your tongue is more than just a tongue. Your tongue does a lot of things. If you had to do a wild guess, right? What is the strongest muscle in the body? You would have guessed your tongue, right? Probably not. Which is rich in the muscle, in reality, not the strongest muscle, right? But a group of muscle that intervene, making a tongue as a whole one of the strongest muscle in the human body. This makes sense when we considered all the talking, chewing, licking we do in a day. When we go on a diet, the last thing we think about that is measuring and weighing our tongue, right? Also, both might prove difficult, right? Very difficult to prove. However, the tongue, like the body, puts on weight. So a heftier person has a fatter tongue. The person who's hefty and very fat, they will get the fatter tongue, right? The tongue can be great. Now let's talk about the core part about it, the core theme about it. The very important part is called tongue can be a great indicator of general health or health issues. What does it mean? It is a common knowledge that is infection that can show up on the tongue surface quite quickly. Also, more rarely known that is that the red tongue can signify a vitamin B12 deficiency. For example, like example, anybody has got red tongue, that means they might have a deficiency of B12. Okay, and then perhaps why why doctor tell us to stick out our tongues. Good tongue hygiene also can prove to aid the entire body too. So look at this. So from it also gives a lot of indication that what is the health status and all that. Every tongue is completely. Now we'll talk about a little bit third point. First we talked about from the sense from the muzzle how strong it is, and then we talked about how the what if something go wrong and if your body is having some sort of deficiency, our tongue can give an indication. Third, lastly, very important, every tongue is a completely unique and can in fact serve to identify a person, just like, if fingerprint. One would imagine though that asking people to lick ink and stick it on a paper would be messy, right? That's the reason general conventional method is footprint, otherwise fingerprinting. Otherwise, this also be unique. Every person has a unique tongue print, right? This is also unique about tongue. Let's talk about the third one, the whistle telephone. The invention of the telephone was a huge leap forward, huge success, huge leap forward when it came to technology. However, there was one problem in the early days of it appearing on the market. What is that? That problem was simply that the telephone bell itself had not been invented. Remember, the telephone bell has not been invented. So you may ask that how people call upon each other. Like they wanted to call upon by gesture and posture, and how they do it. Trying to get the attention of the person you were calling had to involve doing something else instead of relying on the ring, right? So what do you think of, people had to resort to doing in order to overcome this particular problem? The answer was that they would dial the number. When they were connected to them, they had to the whistle as low as loud as they could, in the hope that the person at the other end would be able to hear and the whistle and know that somebody had called them, right? This is all about the third one. The fourth one, the cat mayor. So have you heard that the cat mayor? So this is interesting. Being the mayor is a most difficult task. Often a job that is filled with stress. Filled with lot of thought you need to carry forward. Sometimes you need to talk against, for, and all that. You have to do that. It's a very difficult task, right? As you try to appease everyone and still maintain a real sense of authority in your city or in your town, right? However, the town of Talkeetna, it is there in Alaska, decided to do something differently from the rest of the world back in 1997. From For a number of years since 1997, the mayor of the town has been called Stubbs. So far, the name, yeah. So far, there is nothing new or unusual. You would like to think, right? Because Stubbs would be noun, right? It could be one of the names, right? So, but that is actually the case because it turns out that Stubbs, the person whom we are mentioning, is a cat. Yes, the resident voted that the cat would become the mayor, which must have been the worst decision in the minds of the town. Clearly, this was a protest and shown that they just didn't take things seriously enough for them to go ahead and vote into the office in real human being. Stubbs, the cat, stayed there in a position for a number of years, so he must have been doing something correctly, right? That was very interesting. The lastly, we have these animal can drown. It makes sense that various animal can drown in the exact way as a human, right? It may surprise to you, it may bring a very surprising factor to you, that to find out that there are some species on the list that would perhaps not be expected to find. For example, what do you think that the turtle or alligator could drown? Turtle can drown? You might be wondering, right? How about dolphin? How about whale? Perhaps a water snake? Well, these, they can still drown and die if they are kept underwater for long enough, right? Which is why they need to keep on coming up on the surface, even if it is there. So all these animals, they need to come up for a while and then have that oxygen inhale and then go in, right? They can't stay in the water for long. If they stay, they will get drowned. Very interesting information, right? So like, of course, the same rule does not apply to fish in general, because fish can leave it. However, all the animal species mentioned above have a distinct need to come up to the surface. They need to end up in the exact same kind of trouble if they remain to be in water for very long time. So this that's it, and this is again once again a big round of applause and kudos to Fun Encyclopedia. These references being taken from volume 2 and few references being taken from volume 3 by Bill O'Neill. Wonderful book. You take a read it. As I mentioned in the previous video also as well, lot of interesting information with the crisp and clear, language being used and all that. So thank you so much. You have a wonderful day ahead.